Hey, y'all, what's going on? You have come to the right course. Straight up, real talk. Hey, but on a real note, though, this right here is really passionate for me, y'all. The nonprofit industry, right? This is where I first started it. You know what I'm saying? When I started my business in the nonprofit industry, I had no idea what I was doing, like how it was going to play out, y'all. I'm just keep it real with you, keep it a buck. It was hard. So this course right here is how to start my nonprofit, right? What does it look like? How does it start? This is just a very short version. Make sure that you all keep coming back to my page. I'm going to be dropping a bunch of different things, you know, from worksheets to checklists to even more courses. And I really want to plug you in because you're talking to an African-American man here in America that actually figured out a way to make multiple $1 million in the nonprofit industry, right? Without a nonprofit degree, without having a real big team. I came from nothing, y'all. I'm talking about like came out of college, no experience. I knew somebody who did this work. They told me how cool it was. I didn't really have a blueprint. I went to grant writing classes. I met people. I went to networking events, and I still failed. It took 3 years to get my first $50,000 grant. And so in these courses that I'm going to be going through, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to be talking about what it took for me to get there. But right now, we're going to start here. You know what I'm saying? Before we start talking about funding, how do I even start? What do I do? What's my first thing that I do, right? The first thing that you need to do when you want to start your nonprofit is focus on what's your dream and what's your vision, right? My dream was to help work in the mental health space. I worked in the mental health space for over 10 years at the time. I've been in the nonprofit field now for 6 years. Over 10 years at the time, I worked in the mental health field as a behavioral health tech, working with young people and families from the age of 5 to 65, right? And I wanted to work in the field where I could work with Black folks, work with people that look like myself. I had been incarcerated. I went through some challenges. And so there were some things that I wanted to do in my community. I always had a heart to give, right? My auntie was somebody, you know what I'm saying? She was a beauty stylist. You know what I'm saying? My pops, my uncle who took care of me, you know, I call my pops. He was a good dude. He helped people out in the community and the family. And I watched him, you know, so I grew up around people that was always giving and compassionate, right? So my cornerstone came from that. But my vision was bigger than what my cornerstone even looked like. So my cornerstone was my just early stage things that I learned that had, you know what I'm saying, that was existing. But where my vision was to support Black men and boys around mental health. And when I first started off, I'm gonna be honest, I just wanted to do work in mental health. I didn't have no geographic, no type of people, what ages, none of that. And all these things really matter. And so the first thing that you need to do is the dream and the vision. You need to know that, right? You need to know what is my dream and what's my vision. You're going to understand as you get through your nonprofit phase of creating this, that if you don't know that on the front end, you're going to have a lot of issues on the back end. And I tell you why. It's because as you start to want to grow, as you start to want to get nonprofit funding, which I talk about in one of my other courses, you got to have a clear understanding and dream and the vision of what you're trying to do and how you're going to do it, right? And so what are some things that you need? I'm going to go ahead and jump straight into it. So you need the dream and the vision. That's the first high level thing. That's your 1,000 square feet vision, your dream. What do I want to do? I want to accomplish this by working with kids. I want to do this by working with homelessness, whatever that may be. So you need to know that on the front end, right? Understand that that's going to be law, right? It's going to be law in your process. But the first thing that you're going to need as well, you're going to need to make sure that you have your mission and your vision statement, right? What is your mission? Like, what are you trying to accomplish? And what is your vision, right? You need to have these things written out. You also need to have your purpose. And then I'm going to drop something else on you, your promise. So you have to get 4 things when you're scoping out your dream and your vision. You need to get on pen and pad, your Word doc, your Apple, whatever that is. You need to talk about your vision, your mission, your promise, and your purpose. And this is what you do. You take this body of work, and this is what goes on your website. This is what's going to help you determine how you hire your staff. I'm going to tell you something, y'all. I grew a 7-figure nonprofit, and I never forget, as I was getting into this, I forgot my purpose. I started just chasing funding, and I was getting funding, and I had to run a team, and I had to run a shop, and I forgot, though, my purpose, right? And so I hired a couple of people that wasn't for my organization. Right? We had a lot of turnover. Then we lost some funding. We lost a lot of money, right? And so we went through some challenges at a few years in my career. And I recognized that my purpose was to do this in the community, but I needed these type of people to meet that purpose and that goal. And so you never rear away from that. And so you need your mission, your vision, your promise, and your purpose. Make sure you write these 4 things out, right? Unfortunately, I do not consult with people. So I will make sure that, let me know, email us. Hey, let me know on IG. What do you want to hear more about, right? Like, what do you want to hear more about? Shoot us a message. Hey, I love the course, but I want to hear more about how to do this. I'll break down another course for you guys. Nothing to, hey, we'll make it happen. We got you. I got you. All right. So make sure that your mission, your vision, your purpose, and your promise is outlined with your dream and your vision of your organization. You want to have these 4 things lined out. This is going to go on your website. This is how you're going to also help recruit your board of directors, right? And I'm going to talk about that as well. But once you do that, you need to file for your state secretary certificate to be a nonprofit, right? That is just on your state level. Please make sure you check with your local CPA or your tax attorney, but you need to file for or your attorney, right? You file for your local state of secretary nonprofit certificate. Anybody can have it. It's pretty cheap. I'm in Arkansas. I think mine was like $50. Doesn't cost a lot of money. That's just to be established as a nonprofit in the state. But I'm going to take it a step further now. Then you're going to need what they call an employee identification number. You need an EIN to match with that name. Make sure that when you file for the name, that you file your EIN secondary, because you want to make sure you got that name. And then I'm going to take it a step further. So you need to file for the name on the Secretary of State. You need to file for the employee identification number that matches that name. And then last, you need to go and file for the trademark. Go to Trademarkia. Go out there to what they call the USPTO. You need to file for your trademark so you can own the name that matches your employee identification number, right? Line it up, okay? Make sure that you get that. And so from there, then you got to make a decision. You got 2 choices. Do you want to work as what they call a physical agent, or do you want to have your own charter? And I'll tell you why. I'm not going to dive too deep into this real high level. How much money are you trying to raise in your first 3 years? Is it under $250,000 to run the services that you want? Or do you need to raise more money than $250,000? And if so, then you need your own charter. And so what you need to do once you do your mission, your vision, your values, your purpose, your statement, you need to say, how much money do I need? Who do I need to hire? How are they going to execute the work? How much do I have to pay them? How much do I want to pay myself? And then that's how you understand your physical backing of your company, right? Your organization. Or do I go apply for my charter? And so that's a whole nother course in itself, right? I can't get into that right now, but they call a physical agent relationship. So what you can do, you can partner with another nonprofit that has a charter. You can go under them. You pay them a small nominal fee. They keep up with your books. They help you with but you also can apply for grants. You cannot apply for grants if you don't have a 501c3 charter, period. So you either need to become a physical agent of another nonprofit, or you need to go file your own. I will tell you, if you're not really serious, if you're just kind of getting this, please go with a physical agent. When you have your own charter, you're responsible for filing yearly documents. You're responsible for keeping your paperwork updated, and you need to have a board that's going to be able to execute those documents, and you need a strong CPA and possibly a lawyer. Starting your own charter is serious business. It's no joke. So you want to make sure that you walk into this thing in a very cool way, you know what I'm saying? And that it's going to be something that works for you. So understand that you're going to need your physical agent, or you need to understand about, do I need a charter? So your first thing is, how much money do I want to raise? Am I raising over $250,000 in 3 years? The reason why that's set up like that, because if you're not going to raise over $250,000, so you can be under another organization and be what they call a physical agent. I should have done that. I started off with my charter up front. I didn't know a whole lot about it, guys. That's why I'm doing this course. So you can skip and hack the system better than what I did. It took me 6 years to raise 7 figures, grew a massive organization. Now I'm in 40-some cities. Hey, I've done great things, worked with celebrities, worked with corporations, the whole nine, right? But if I had knew some of these key things early on and started my nonprofit, trust me, I would have went faster, right? So the game is, you got to know how to have the systems and the tools so you can go faster on the back end, right? Okay, another important step that you need to identify is, what's your strategic plan, right? How long are you going to take to execute your dream and your vision? What do you plan to do to get there by executing your dream and your vision? Who's going to help you? How much money will you need? You need to get what they call a strategic plan. There are consultants out there that help people with strategic planning. Unfortunately, I do not provide direct services or direct coaching. I just only provide digital coaching. I do trainings. So, hey, if you want to book us, you want me to come out and do a training for you and your team, you want to come out and do a training for you and your church, hey, make sure that you hit us up on our contact link. I'll come out and gladly do a training for you guys on this. But I do not provide direct coaching and consulting. But there are tons and tons of people. You make sure you check out your Facebook groups. You got Black and nonprofits. You got tons of nonprofit groups out there on social media. Check out on LinkedIn. There's a lot of resources out there as well. So there's a lot of networks around there. But hire you a strategic plan consultant, and you need to try to build a 3 and a 5-year strategic plan. Don't worry about doing a 10-year right now. Yeah, you can have vision on, I want to have a school, I want to have a couple of daycares, I want to help the homelessness to build 20 apartments. That's fine. What can you do right now in 3 years? What can you do next year? How can you measure that? Who are you going to bring in to help you get there? How much money will you need? You got to have a strategic plan. I say that too, because that takes me to my next step. You got to have a board of directors. So you're going to need a board of directors to execute all this stuff, your mission, your vision, your strategic plan. You're going to need a board, real high level, smart folks, your attorneys, your professors. Hey, I will tell you right now, stay away from your family and your friends. I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm not going to tell you what other people tell you. Stay away from your family and friends unless they are business minded. Okay? Do not bring on a bunch of family and friends, because you're not going to grow unless they have business minded and they're taking you serious. Okay? You need to find people that work for local banks, that work in government, people that work for schools, but people that are certified and experts in that space. You need to bring them into your organization and ask them for a seat on the board. But when you bring them on, make sure that you ask them questions like, how much money can you raise? Who do you know? Because your board is supposed to help your organization grow, and so it can do great things and help people and help even take care of you, because you as a founder and a visionary of this organization that you're going to build, you're going to need people to support you as a leader. And if they don't do that, it's going to be a conflict to your growth and your overall outcome and your success, right? So make sure that you know this. You got to lock in with this, y'all. This is so important. Your board of directors. Make sure they are tapped in, right? This is really powerful stuff. I don't care how big your dream and your vision is. You got to have a team to help you execute that vision to get to the next step of your journey, okay? Another component to remember is research in your target market, right? And so your research in your target market is so powerful, because it allows you to know who you're going to target and what are the research you're going to do behind that, right? So you need to also know that as well. I tell you, another thing is funding research, right? When you want to start your nonprofit, use your research in your target market to understand where you're going to look for your funding at, right? That's a whole nother course in itself. Make sure that you go to my next course and check that out. We want to talk about funding, who to go get funding from, who to go get the bag from, who's going to help fund the vision and the dream, right? And then something else that I really want you guys to know is find your niche, right? Hey, maybe you good with helping kids. Maybe you good with cooking, right? Maybe you want to provide, maybe you worked in government and you've helped people and you want to help people in the housing. Find your niche as that founder of your organization, but find you people that can help take you there. Your board, right? When you get your budget, your staff, I tell you one of the hugest hacks to a nonprofit: interns, and find you some volunteers that believe in you. So you don't have the money up front, when you're trying to get funding, when you're doing your research, you're doing your strategic plan, make sure, guys, that you find you people. Like, I partnered with a local college. My first 2 or 3 people were young people. And then I paid them a nominal stipend, and they helped me grow, where I was able to hire my first 2 or 3 people on payroll. And then those few people helped me hire more people. Right? So it takes time. It takes time to grow. And it's going to take you guys time to do that, man. This has been a beautiful, beautiful time. This is really a short course, but it just gives you a lot to think about. I hope that you're taking awesome notes. Hey, y'all, please make sure that you continue to visit Lorenzo P. Lewis. This is just what I've been able to do is start my organization. I'm reaching over 1.8 million people in the nonprofit that I started called the Confess Project of America. I'm the founder of that organization. I've been on Oprah and Kelly Clarkson. I've met artists like Killer Mike, Nick Cannon. I've been on TV, NBC, CNN. I've done all this, y'all, and I came from nothing, right? I came from zero. I didn't have none of the experience, right, when this was just all a dream. And so I advise you, y'all, that when you're doing this, right, that you tap into your inner self, right? Do that inner work, ask yourself these really important questions, and then start to execute on these things. It's been beautiful, y'all. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. And I look forward to seeing you my other classes, my other courses. Let's stay connected. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Lorenzo P. Lewis, LorenzoPLewis.com. If you're looking for me to come do a training, do some work with you, hey, make sure to hit us up. Let's do it.